Welcome to This Explainer. We are jumping right into a super vibrant, fast-paced historical journey today, mapping out the absolutely captivating streets of Izmir. If you look at a map of Turkey's western coast, Izmir stands out right away as this shimmering jewel on the Aegean. But trust me, this isn't just another pretty coastal city. It is literally a living, breathing museum, layered with over 8,500 years of triumphs, tragedies, and some truly wild mythologies. So let's trace a path across the map and explore the absolute must-see historical wonders that make this place so unforgettable.
Okay, I've got to hook you right off the bat with this. Did you know this incredible modern metropolis was, according to legend anyway, founded by a fierce tribe of warrior women? It's true. The very foundation of the city is deeply tied to the amazing myth of the Amazon queen Smyrna. The story goes that she led her warriors all the way to the shores of the Izmir Gulf, completely fell in love with the area, and decided to build a city right there, naming it after herself.
Section 1. The city built on legends, Izmir.
So, our first stop on the map is the Bayrakli district. We're talking about a settlement that dates back a staggering 8,500 years. Way before the Greeks or Romans ever walked these streets, the Tepekule Mound in Bayrakli was this buzzing hub. But let's circle back to those warrior women, because they really captured the ancient imagination. In Greek mythology, the Amazons were actually known as Androktones, which literally translates to man-killers. I mean, wow. They were this entirely independent society, living completely separate from men. According to the myths, they'd only visit neighboring tribes once a year, and that was purely just to sustain their lineage. The male babies? Sent back to the fathers or killed. But the female babies were raised to be elite, totally unmatched warriors. It's such a powerful legend, and you'll still see stunning Amazon statues celebrating it all across Izmir today.
Moving on to Section 2, Alexander's Dream at Kadifakale.
All right, fast forward to the 4th century BC. The original city of Smyrna had put up a massive fight, but it was tragically destroyed by the Persians. It desperately needed a grand revival, and that came from, drumroll please, none other than Alexander the Great. After defeating the Persians, Alexander arrived in the region and went hunting on the densely forested Bagos Hill. Today, we know that as Kadifakale. So he gets exhausted, falls asleep under this massive plane tree, and actually dreams of two nemesis goddesses who order him to rebuild the city right there on the slopes. When he wakes up, he runs this by the famous Oracle of Claros, and the Oracle confirms it with this amazing prophecy. The people who settle on Pagos Hill would literally be 4 times happier than before.
Taking that divine vision as an absolute green light, Alexander ordered his top generals, Antigonos and Lysimachos, to get to work. And they pulled off what's known as the second founding of Smyrna. They built this glorious, massive fortress up on Kadifakale and established a booming port city right below it. This was no ordinary town either. They engineered it from the ground up to rival the absolute biggest commercial hubs of the era, like Ephesus and Alexandria, complete with an acropolis, a stadium, and these sweeping city walls reaching all the way down to the sea.
Next up, Section 3, the symbol of time, the clock tower.
Let's drop down from those commanding heights directly into the bustling heart of modern Izmir. Welcome to Konak Square. If you're marking up a tourist map, this is pretty much ground zero for Izmir's modern identity. And right in the center, anchoring the whole thing, is the magnificent clock tower, standing 25 meters tall. It has this incredibly elegant octagonal shape, and if you look closely at the marble base, you'll see these beautiful, ornate fountains on all 4 sides. It's just an absolute masterpiece of late Ottoman architecture, with all this beautiful cut stone and super intricate relief work. It completely commands your attention. So why was it built? Well, back in 1900, the empire was gearing up for a massive celebration, Sultan Abdul Hamid II's 25th anniversary on the throne. To mark the occasion, a really brilliant French Levantine architect named Raymond Charles Perret was commissioned to design this very tower. It took about a year of meticulous construction, but on September 1, 1901, it was finally unveiled. And I mean, they went all out. Incredible fanfare, grand ceremonies, huge celebrations. It totally reflected the cosmopolitan and aesthetic spirit of Izmir at the time. Now, here's a really fun bit of historical gossip for you. Rumor has it that the 4 actual clocks adorning the tower were a personal gift from the German Emperor, Wilhelm II. Supposedly, it was a token of the close political ties between the Ottoman and German empires back then. Historians will tell you it's unconfirmed, but honestly, it's exactly the kind of intriguing historical mystery that makes these monuments feel so alive, don't you think?
All right, Section 4, the elevator and Dario Moreno. Taking a short trip down the coast to the Karataş district, we hit an architectural marvel that isn't even inside a building. It's an elevator outside, connecting two entire streets. This is the historical ascensor. Imagine being a local back in the day and having to endure this grueling, exhausting climb up hundreds of steep stairs just to get from Mithat Pasha Street at the bottom to Halil Rafat Pasha Street at the top. Finally, in 1907, local Jewish merchants funded this beautiful elevator to save everyone the daily workout. It actually used to be powered by water before getting updated to electricity. At the top, there's this stunning wooden balcony supported by iron brackets, giving you hands down one of the most breathtaking views of the Izmir Gulf.
But honestly, the magic starts before you even reach the elevator doors. You have to walk down this charming, narrow dead-end road that feels exactly like you just stepped onto a vintage film set. This is Dario Moreno Street. It's flanked by these gorgeous historic homes, and along the way you'll spot busts honoring two incredible musicians, the world-famous Algerian-French artist Enrico Macias and the street's namesake, local legend Dario Moreno.
Dario Moreno achieved massive fame around the globe, but he always proudly introduced himself as Izmirli Dario, Dario of Izmir. He even spent parts of his life living right on this street. You might hear his upbeat songs playing inside the elevator cabin, but it's actually his will that gives our tour some deep emotional resonance today. He wrote, "Izmir, my sweet and beloved city. If one day I die far from you, let them bring me to you. But as they take me to my grave, let them not say he died. Let them say he is sleeping." Family reasons meant he couldn't actually be buried there, but man, his spirit is absolutely alive and well in this beautiful corner of the city.
Moving right along to Section 5, the hidden village of history, Burgi. We're leaving the coastal breeze behind for a second and heading inland. We're taking a vibrant day trip into the lush green foothills of the Bazdalar Mountains in the Ödemiş district. We're going to a place where time seems to have just hit pause. Welcome to Birgi. This settlement goes deep into antiquity. During the Byzantine era, it was a super important bishopric center known as Pyrgion, which is Greek for small tower or castle. But this place was destined for a huge transformation, shifting from a Christian center into this incredibly powerful and wealthy Turkish capital.
So, after the Battle of Malazgirt, the Turkification of Anatolia kicked into gear, and Burgi became the glorious capital of the Aydın-Oğuzlar Beyliği for nearly a whole century. And get this, even after falling under Ottoman rule in 1426, the town just kept getting richer. What you see when you walk through Burgi today is this breathtaking, perfect blend of Beylik and Ottoman architecture funded by wealthy land barons, silk weavers, and olive oil merchants.
If you visit, and you absolutely should, here are the historical gems you've got to pin on your map. First, the Ulu Cami, an absolute masterpiece from the Beylik era. Then, the 17th century Dervishaga Medresesi, which highlights the town's legacy as a massive educational hub. You also have the tomb of the famous 16th century scholar Birgivi Mehmet Efendi. People traveled from all over just to study with him. And finally, you cannot miss the 19th century Çukuraga Konağı. It's this majestic mansion covered in stunning wall paintings and intricate wood carvings. It gives you a perfect snapshot of how the historic elite used to live.
But you know, it's actually a complete miracle that any of these monuments are still standing. Burgi survived fires during the Greco-Turkish War, a devastating flood in 1939, and then a really severe earthquake in 1944. All of this history could have easily been lost forever, but it was miraculously saved by a brilliantly forward-thinking urban zoning and conservation plan back in 1947. That plan stopped the historic fabric from just getting bulldozed over by modern development.
And let me tell you, that preservation effort paid off big time, because it managed to protect its traditional Turkish identity better than almost anywhere else in Western Anatolia. Birgi made it onto the prestigious UNESCO World Heritage Tentative List in 2012. Then, in 2022, it hit global fame when the UN World Tourism Organization literally crowned it as one of the best tourism villages. How cool is that?
So we've gone from mythical warrior Amazons and Alexander the Great's grand visions to cliffside elevators and hidden mountain capitals preserved in time. Izmir really is a map of endless historical adventures. It leaves us with a pretty wild thought, doesn't it? If a single city can hold 8,500 years of secrets right beneath its modern streets, what kind of history are we walking over every single day? Grab your map, get out there, and go experience these living stories for yourself. Thanks for hanging out with me on this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.